I'm going to do a quick video showing you how to do partial quotients to solve a division problem. This can be an easier way than using the standard algorithm. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to think about our friendly numbers. Friendly numbers just mean they are numbers that you can do mental math with quickly and easily. Typically, the friendly numbers we're going to use is 1,000, 100, 50, sometimes 25 may be a friendly number, 10, 5, 2, and 1. Now we know this doesn't mean that those are the only numbers you can use, but they tend to make your life a little bit easier when you're trying to come up with things that you can multiply. So I'm going to just bring down my line here to make my little lucky 7, and I'm going to ask myself, 7 times what will give me a number that is equal to or less than 497. So if I'm looking at my friendly numbers, if I did a 7 times 1,000, I would get 7,000. 7,000 is clearly more than 497, so that will not work for this problem. Then if I look at my 100, I know that 7 times 100 is 700, so that is also too big. It is bigger than 497. When I look at 50, 50 may or may not be a friendly number for you. You just have to decide if that's something you want to use. I'm going to go ahead and skip 50 and 25 for this problem, and I'm going to go straight down to 10. So I know that 7 times 10 is 70. So I'm going to put 110 out to the side. 7 times 10 is 70, and it gets written right beneath my 497. What I just essentially did is said that I'm making 10 groups of 7, which means I'm taking 70 from my 497, so I'm going to subtract. 7 minus 0 is 7, 9 minus 7 is 2, 4 minus nothing is 4. Now I could keep going with tens, or I could use another number. For this problem, I'm just going to keep using our 10. 10 times 7 is 70. Again, I can still subtract. 7 minus 0 is 7. I have to borrow for this one. 12 minus 7 is 5. 3 minus 0 is 3. So I now have 357. I'm going to go again with 10. 10 times 7 is 70. 7 minus 0 is 7. Again, I have to borrow. 15 minus 7 is 8. 2 minus nothing is 2. I can do another 70. Notice how that I'm lining up my 10 with my 70. That helps me keep track of what I'm doing. And I'm going to subtract. 7 minus 0 is 7. 8 minus 7 is 1. 2 minus nothing is 2. And I can keep going again. 7 minus 0 is 7. I have to borrow. 11 minus 7 is 4. So I'm at 147. I can do another set of 10. 7 minus 0 is 7. 14 minus 7 is 7. I can still do one more group of 10. 77 minus 70 is 7. Now notice I have a number here, 7, that is equal to my divisor, which is also a 7. I cannot finish my problem until my remainder down here is less than my 7. So 7 is equal, so I have to keep going. That means I can do one group of 7. So 1 times 7 is 7. Subtract, and I get 0. So my remainder is 0. But what is our quotient? To find the quotient, you just have to add up everything that you put to the side. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. So that's 30, 60, 70 plus 1 is 71. So the answer to our problem is 71. Now, we know that 10 isn't the only numbers we can use. We could do the same problem. I'm just going to rewrite it over here to the side using different numbers. I know that 1,000 and 100 still don't work, but could I use 50? I know that 7 times 5 is 35, and I add 1 0, which that is smaller than 497. So I subtract. So this time, instead of saying I made 10 groups of 7, I made 50 groups of 7. 7 minus 0 is 7. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. Now I have 147. So I could do 7 times 10 and do 70, but I happen to know that 7 times 20, 7 times 2 is 14, add a 0 is 140, and I subtract and I get 7. Now again, I have to go to my 1. 1 times 7 is 7, and I have a remainder of 0, and I still get the same answer as 71. The majority of the mistakes that you will make when doing partial quotients is not subtracting correctly, especially when you get into these numbers where you're having to borrow. You have to be really neat when you're using partial quotients because you can easily get really confused. Let's do one more problem. In this problem, we're going to do 7,496 divided by 5. So I'll write my friendly numbers over here. Again, you don't have to use these numbers, but they can help if you're stuck and need a starting place. I asked myself, can I do 5 times 1,000? Am I going to get a number that is less than 7,000? Well, yes, I am. 5 times 1,000 is 5,000. I'm going to subtract, and I need to make sure to write my 1,000 over here. So I'm taking my 5, I'm multiplying it by this 1,000, and I'm getting 5,000. So subtract, and I now have 2,496. I cannot do 1,000 more groups of 5 because then that would be 5,000, and I only have 2,496 left. I could do 100. But I know if I'm having to do 100, 5 times 100 is 500, and that would take several 500s to get there. But I do know that I could do 200. So 5 times 2 is 10, add 2 zeros. And for me, this is an easy number to do. If it's not, you are more than welcome to do 100 over and over again. You will still get the same answer. When I subtract, I now have 1,496. Well, I know that 200 times 5 is 1,000 because I just did that. So I know that I can do that one again. I subtract. And now I have 496. So now I ask myself, well, now can I do 5 times 100? Well, that'd be 500. So we're just a little bit short of that. So 100 is not going to work. But I could do 50. 5 times 5 is 25. Add 1 0. Subtract. I have 246. I can't do any more 50s. 25. When I do 25s, I can think about quarters. I know that there's 100 pennies in a dollar. So how many quarters would it take to get to that dollar, that 100 pennies? And it would take 4. So I know that 25 times 4 is 100. If I add one more 25, because I have 5 of them, that's 125. 6 minus 5 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. I can't do 25s anymore, so I'm going to do a group of 10. And I get 50. I subtract, and I have 71. I can do one more group of 10. That leaves me with 21. Now I'm going to come over here because I've run out of room. So now I know 5 times 4 is 20, and I'm just using my multiplication facts. That's not a friendly number, but if you know your multiplication facts, you can come up with the things that work for you. So 5 times 4 is 20, and you subtract, and you have 1. So I have 1 left over. I know I'm done because that 1 is less than my 5. So to find my answer, I add up all my totals. 1,000 times 200 is 1,200, plus another 200 is 1,400, plus 50 is 1,450, plus 25 is 1,475, plus 20 is 1,495, plus 4 is 1,494. 1,400, 75, 85, 95, 50, 75, 85, 95, 99. Sometimes when you're doing it in your head, you don't get it correct. You need to make sure that you line your digits up, so feel free to do that. And then I know I have a remainder of 1. So my answer is 1,499, remainder 1. Now I know I can check this problem by using multiplication. I take my quotient that I just got and I'm going to multiply it by my divisor. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry my 4. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 4 is 49. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And then I need to add in my 1, and that gives me 7,496. And I know that my answer is correct because that matches my dividend. Now, if you're not really strong in multiplication, this method of checking isn't going to be your best bet, but if you are really good at doing multiplication, it's a great way to check.